Ladies, gentlemen, and young ladies, good evening, everyone. You are once again welcome here on the A platform for raising awareness. Featured world news, the Pentagon is in a total panic. I say that's the whole package. The Pentagon panics over difficulties facing the United States, America's largest missile stockpile and ammunition. But above all, the Pentagon panics against China. China, which has just tested its intercontinental ballistic missile. China, which doesn't even have too much of missiles. Far too many nuclear plants like the Russia. America panics, and they believe that a case of protracted conflict, even a few days with China, they won't be able to hold on. It's the Pentagon that says. It's the Pentagon itself who is studying the measures to see how to increase their stock, since they themselves are in an indefinite provocation from China. They regularly provoke China. They know that at any moment China will not forgive, because China has already shown his camp. Officially, China said it was ready to always be at the side of the Russia, even in the context of this conflict in Ukraine. China is engaged in bilateral relations with Korea from the north, and they continue to provoke China, especially in the Indo-Pacific, in the Asia-Pacific. They are provoking China. The Taiwan affair is here. China is getting ready. And the time used recently by the Chinese diplomacy, this shows sufficiently that China is ready to face any threat. And China said that no power in the world will not be able to prevent them from recovering Taiwan. Gold, America envies to continue to have Taiwan under its authority. And there is also the question of Venezuela. And so, young ladies and gentlemen, the Pentagon has noted with bitter regret that these reservations can no longer suffice. There are insufficiency as part of this conference geopolitics. This is the news that we are going to talk about. But before continue, thank you for sharing the video conferencing at most in all possible groups. Here, share with maximum. There you go. Always remember to leave a review in the comments. Let's go in the depths. So, it's a worrying observation from American military officials. According to the information officials of the Pentagon acknowledges that stock's current U.S. missiles are insufficient in the event of a prolonged war against China. They themselves recognize that the current stock of missiles Americans are insufficient in case of protracted war against China. And they say that recent military exercises that they had to organize showed massive spending on ammunition due to the war in Ukraine. Aid brought to Kiev. There you go, plus the tensions in the Pacific. So that means that at the moment, even if China wanted to start the war against the United States of America, this that we do not wish, America will not be able to hold at all. Which is strange is that they themselves take the time to give all this information. When they panic, they say so. When they are still strong, they say. So the Department of Defense, so the War Department, is studying a considerable increase in production and storage. They want to increase production and weapon storage. Washington is anticipating a potential conflict around Taiwan. They want to take back Taiwan, and so they want to anticipate to avoid that when the conflict is triggered, that the Ministry of Defense, the U.S. War Department, the U.S. Department of War, I was going to say not to be out of stock. So the objective is to ensure the air and sea superiority American by multiplying missiles crews, anti-missiles and hypersonic weapons. Since on the side of China, it is evolving. China is producing anyhow. Yes, because China has given itself a timeline by period. China will can obviously reach a number missile production record, drones and so on. So it must be said that, and this has repercussions and strategic implications. This panic on the Washington side, the exhaustion of the missile stockpile Americans. So this leads to a race to the armaments that accelerate while the China is accelerating. Russia itself is already in a logic irreversible for more of a year, accelerated production to both drones, missiles, and everything that follows. So Beijing is testing already hypersonic glider CBMs like what was tested, what we had to say talk. The United States of America admits their delay and fear not to be able to support, not to be able to sustain a long-term conflict. All this shows that they want, that is the arms race, they want to rearm as quickly as possible. Finally, there is a risk, the risk of increased militarization, and it risks degenerating with that. So this announcement, obviously, as you can see, translates into panic silent in Washington. America doesn't want to be taken by surprise, doesn't want to be taken by surprise. No, she doesn't want to not be surprised. But the production of these missiles and these anti-defense systems, anti-missile, it takes time. Even if the order is given, it takes the time. Why? On the Russian side, the president of the Russian Federation said that it is necessary that all the private companies agree to sign contracts with the Russian state for produce weapons 24/7 on 24. So to multiply their production, because obviously the need is there, we must avoid being taken by force. And so it is the same logic as America wants to follow. Germany, the France, is already facing these same difficulties because the war in Ukraine has ruined them completely. They have sold out all their stock. So when America announces its rearmament to be able to stand up to China, will China start sleep? No, China will also continue to rearm. There you go. And hence the risk of militarization of the Pacific. And so, ladies, young ladies and gentlemen, that was the front page of international news. Thank you for the share as much as possible, and I'll get back to you just now. It was the voice of your humble servant, the Samurai.